Welcome to Civil Engineering Online. Subject for today's video is Design of Prestressed Concrete Structures. Module 3 Design of Sections for Flexure. Topic Introduction of Flexure Design of Prestressed Members. Let's begin with the introduction for the flexural design. When the pre-stress members are subjected to bending loads. Bending loads means the loads which are occurring on slabs, beams, such horizontal members are having the bending loads. Different types of flexural failures are possible at critical sections. Critical sections means somewhere we are going to have a part of reinforcement is reduced, bond is not there in between the steel and concrete, or concrete is less having compressive strength, or the steel is going to have failure due to the tension. That type of failures are there in the critical sections. So depending upon the principles of controlling parameters such as percentage of reinforcement, under percentage of reinforcement we should remember that the reinforcement whatever we are providing means whatever the amount of steel we are providing into the concrete area, that all is known as percentage of reinforcement, including the cage what we provide having as a reinforced concrete and including the pre-stressed concrete tendons also. Degree of bond between the tendons and concrete, whether that is pre-tensioned or post-tensioned, when that will be there, that time we will also occur and encode into account that tendons are having bonds or not between the concrete. And compressive strength of the concrete, whether the concrete is having a capability of carrying the load transfer by the live loads or any other superimposed dead loads. And when they are acting, whether the ultimate tensile strength of tendons is also able to have the capacity to carry the failure between the tension part which is going to occur. In the post cracking stage, the behavior of a pre-stressed concrete member is more akin to that of a reinforced concrete, and the theories used for estimating the flexural strength of reinforced section may as well as be used for pre-stressed sections. Means in this part I used to tell you clearly, the post cracking means the cracking which occurs after the stage of members after the cracking. The simple cracks, smaller cracks are going to occur into the member due to heavy loads. That time the whatever the behavior of pre-stressed member is there, it is more beneficiary and more satisfactory that of reinforced concrete. When you have a small cracks in reinforced concrete, it will have to be a warning for us such that it will be going to collapse in some more days. But whereas in pre-stressed concrete, the still cracks are hidden due to the pre-stressing of tendons which will not come into act. And whatever the theories we are going to use, such as some theories are there to measure the flexural strength of reinforced concrete section, they may be as well as used for pre-stressed sections also. The various types of failures encountered in pre-stressed concrete members are examined in the light various codes of practice. First one is fracture of tension in steel, that is the fracture of steel in tension. So we are going to have the steel going to get broken into the pieces when the tension load is occurring. Second is failure of under reinforced sections. We know what is under reinforced section, what is over reinforced section. Failure of over reinforced sections, then other modes of failure. Moving to first part, fracture of steel in tension. The sudden failure of pre-stressed sections without any warning is generally due to the fracture of steel in tension zone. As soon as the tension occurring on the pre-stressed tendons it exceeds, they are broken into pieces. It is an example such that if I take a thread and try to pull it, the strength how much the thread can take, that much it can take. As soon as the strength of the thread is going to decrease and the load is going to increase, it will go into two pieces. As the thread goes into two pieces, it is going to have a fracture. Similarly, that way also the tendon wires are going to have the fracture. This type of failure is imminent when the percentage of steel provided in section is so low, means it is going to occur when we are providing the steel in the section as very low, that when the concrete in the tension zone cracks, means the concrete which is in the tension zone, it is going to have a cracks, it will lead to cracking. Steel is not in a position to bear up the additional tensile stresses. So when the concrete is cracked and steel is not going to carry any type of tension load, that time this type of failures are going to occur. This type of failure can be prevented by providing a certain minimum percentage of steel in the cross section. Means, as we have designed the reinforced concrete sections, we provide a minimum reinforcement called something. That minimum reinforcement is provided so that it should not occur any type of cracks or anything. Similarly, in PSC also we have to provide. As per IS 1343, a minimum longitudinal reinforcement of 0.2% of the cross-sectional area in all cases except in the case of pre-tensioned units of small sections. As per IS 143, minimum longitudinal reinforcement is 0.2% of all cross-sectional area. When HYSD, high yield strength deformed reinforced, is used, a minimum steel percentage is used as 0.15 percentage. So this is for mild steel and this is for HYSD bars. The percentage of steel provided, both tensioned and untensioned taken together, should be sufficient so that when the concrete in the pre-compressed tensile zone cracks, means percentage of steel provided should be both taken together, the tensioned and untensioned. The steel in the position to bear the additional stress transferred to it by the cracking of the adjacent fibers of concrete, thereby preventing a sudden failure of the beam due to fracture of steel in the tension. Means steel in a position to bear additional tensile stress, which will come when the concrete is going to have a small cracks. So concretes are having a fibers that cracks. As soon as that cracks, it will be transferred to the steel part and the steel will also come onto the fracture of the considering with tension force. Second is failure of under reinforced sections. If the cross section is provided with an amount of steel greater than the minimum prescribed in case 1, means in the first case 0.2 and 0.15, the failure is characterized by an excessive elongation of steel followed by the crushing of concrete. This is known as under reinforced. Means if we are not providing 0.2% or 0.15%, that time whatever the failure is going to occur, means it will be due to excessive elongation of steel, which is again followed by crushing of concrete suddenly. As bending loads are increased, excessive elongation of steel rises, the neutral axis closer to the compression phase at the critical section. The member approaches failure due to the gradual reduction of compression zone, exhibiting large deflections and cracks which develop at the soffit and progress towards the compression phase. Means when the member approaches the failure part, the compression zone is on the top and deflection cracks are at the bottom, means in the tension zone. They go on approaching towards the upward direction, that is on the face of the compression zone. When the area of concrete in the compression zone is insufficient to resist the resultant internal compressive force, the ultimate flexural failure of the member takes place through the crushing of concrete. So, this part is going to have the crushing in the concrete if the area of concrete is in the compression zone is insufficient and internal compressive resistance is not going to take any load that moment. Large deflections and wide cracks are the characteristic features of under reinforced sections at failures. So this part is the under reinforced concrete which is going to fail. So we call it as under reinforced beam only. It's a common practice to design under reinforced sections which become more important in case of specially indeterminate structures. An upper limit to maximum area of steel is provided in codes. As per codes, we have to provide the upper limit of maximum steel. Second is failure of over reinforced sections. This type of member fails by sudden crushing of concrete. The failure being characterized by small deflection and narrow cracks. Due to small cracks and deflection, concrete will go suddenly into busting. That busting is called as crushing of concrete. Area of steel is comparatively large. The stresses developed in the steel at a failure of the member may not reach the tensile strength, and in many cases it may well be within the proof stress of tendons. Proof stress of tendons means here the member behaves like the cast iron, not the wrought iron. Mild steel and cast iron, what we have designed or we have tested like that. Mild steel will take more yielding, cast iron will break into the proof stress. This part comes into over reinforced sections. This type of over reinforced sections will be there, the tending will be there, but the concrete is going to burst due to compression zone. It is undesirable to have sudden failures without any warning in the form of excessive deflection and widespread cracks, and consequently the use of over reinforced sections are discouraged as structural members. Nowadays we are not going to have any over reinforced sections which we have seen from RCC structures also. The amount of reinforcement used in practice should be preferably not exceed that require for the balanced section. So any section, either it is reinforced section or PSC section, we have to design for balanced only, means neutral axis is to be balanced by compression and tension forces. The redistribution of moments in an intermediate structure depends upon the rotation capacity of the critical sections of the member under a given system of loads. The use over reinforced concrete sections, means PSC sections, in such structures curtails and rotation capacity of sections, consequently affecting the ultimate load on the structure. So this is going to occur in the over reinforced sections in such structures. Other modes of failure. Pre-stressed concrete members subjected to transfer loads may fail in shear before their full flexural strength is attained if they are not adequately designed for shear. Means the PSC member subjected to transfer loads may fail in shear before they fully attain their flexural strength if they are not adequately designed for shearing. So there is shear design is also there in the PSC members. Web shear cracks may develop in the principal stresses are excessive, and if thin webs are used, the failure may occur due to web crushing. So I sections are there, in that web section is there. So web shear cracks may be developed, or the thickness of web is less, that time web crushing may also occur. For pre-tension, the failure of bond between the steel and surrounding concrete is likely due to inadequate transmission lengths at the end of members. Inadequate transmission length means the load which is coming in the members The steel also will carry some loads that is not transmitted at the ends. This occurs in the pre-tensioned member because the tensioned wire are curtailed to have a pre-tensioning of the members. In post-tension members, anchorage failures may take place if the end block is not properly designed to resist the transverse tensile forces. Design of flexures will be continued in the further part, and then we will see some problems of the design of flexures under the moment action. Thank you for watching the video, and like, share and subscribe the channel for more updates, and with this I'll stop here. Thank you so much.